As we all know, the Sega Genesis is regarded many to be one of the greatest 16-bit consoles of all time, next to the Super Nintendo. This came out in October of 1988 in Japan, almost 30 years ago, and it came out in August of '89 in the US. It did very well in the United States, and it's sadly Sega's one and only successful console. This is the original model. As you see, well, my reset button is broken, the headphone jack, and the on and off. This is the high definition version 2, which means it has the best sound. However, in 1993 or 1994, Sega released a new model. This is the Model 2. Now, this came out in 1994. There's a lot of differences. It's a lot more slim, a lot more sleek, the buttons are a lot better, and the best part of all, it implemented stereo sound, and it's the most common Sega Genesis. But there's one problem. The sound isn't as good as the Model 1, it's a lot more muffled. However though, in 1998, a company named Majesco made, I guess you could say, an unofficial model, but it kind of is a model, and this is the Sega Genesis Model 3. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. So the Model 3 Genesis came out in 1998. It was basically a budget Sega Genesis. You could get this at stores for like $50, and some stores were selling this for like $20. Because this was around the time the Genesis games were getting discounted, in all stores. So one of the biggest differences, as you can see, it's very, very tiny. Very, very small. As a matter of fact, let's do a size comparison. It's a good thing I have this controller right here. This is the Xbox Duke. The Duke controller is about the size of the Model 3. That's just crazy. Look at this. I think it might be bigger, but I don't know. But yeah, the Genesis Model 3 is very, very tiny. So, once again, here's the basics, power. Now, one thing you notice, there's no LED, it's just an orange sticker, because, this is meant to be a budget, and the reset button. Now, here's one thing I don't really like about the Model 3. The power adapter and the RF AV out is on this side, not on the back. I don't really like that because it kind of bends the cables a little bit, and I'm kind of worried it, shortens out the cables. The good news about the Model 3, now a lot of people may think, oh, it's Majesco, it's not official, or maybe it has, bad sound. Well, no. Even though this is made by Majesco, all the Genesis parts, all the Genesis sound chips, all of everything from the Sega Genesis is in this model. So, no worry about clones, no bad sound, all the hardware is in this model. And the good news about the Model 3, it sounds very, very nice. It's like a fusion of the Model 1 and the Model 2. Plus, it's very crisp. I noticed that the Model 3 also outputs like the best picture. It looks very crisp. So here's an example. Here's Mortal Kombat 3. Fits very nicely onto your Model 3. Cute appearance. Really like that. And here is one of the best advantages about the Model 3. Here's a Mega Drive game, Fire Mustang, and yes, it will fit and it will work. The Model 3 is compatible with Mega Drive games, so you can actually play Japanese games on it. Now, when it came out in '98, it actually had two 6-button controllers. Very odd controllers at that. So here is the more common 6-button controller. It's very, very tiny. Very, very tiny into my hands. But it fits very nice. D-pad's nice. And here's the weird one. This is the one... this is the one that's shaped like the original Genesis controller, and it's a 6-button. One thing that's interesting is that the 6 buttons are shaped the same. The D-pad is really, really nice though. So, this controller is okay. This one's pretty good too. But yeah, these are the two controllers that came with this. Now, one thing you need to know is, for some weird reason, Mortal Kombat 1 on the Genesis has issues with these controllers. Like, the kick buttons won't work. I have no idea what that's all about. Another thing worth noting about the Genesis Model 3 is it uses the same cables and adapters as the Model 2. So if you have a Model 2, all you need is just the system itself and you're good to go. That's what I did. I paid mine for like $20 on eBay, console only, and it works just fine. Now there is a little bit of a downfall. The downfall is, I'm not sure if this is considered this a downfall, it won't work with any Genesis add-ons. Yeah, it looks silly as all hell. It's not compatible with the Sega CD, it's not compatible with the 32X, it's also not compatible with a few games. One game in particular is Gargoyles because they eliminated a controller bug in the original models of the Sega Genesis, but Gargoyles actually needed that bug. Also, it's not compatible with the Virtual Racing, and the game Genie doesn't work. What the hell? Also note that some Mega Drive games aren't compatible as long as there's no region locking, but I'm very sure all Mega Drive games will work on this battery. So that's a good thing to know. So, I will say that the Model 3 is a little, I wouldn't say pricey, but you're going for, like, with the controls and all that, you're going to pay for around $45. I got mine for $20 just the console itself because I have the Model 2 and I'm able to get all the cables and everything that I need. So, I only paid $20 and I feel like it's the best way to get the Model 3. It's just by the console only. It's also pretty durable, very light in your hands. It's just so cute to have. It's a very, very awesome looking system. I really dig the design of the Model 3, and I really like this model a lot. Now, in my personal opinion, I prefer the Model 1 because it plays everything and you get the most accurate sound. If you're on a little bit of a budget and you're having a hard time finding the Genesis, then okay, I recommend the Model 2. But if you don't have that much shelf space, then I highly recommend the Model 3. It gets the job done, and you can play Sega Genesis games, no problem whatsoever. And that's all that matters, right? Playing some Sega Genesis games. Well, alright guys, that's my little review of the Model 3 Genesis. This gets a 2 thumbs up. I highly recommend it if you're a Sega collector or you're a big fan of the Sega Genesis. I highly recommend this little system because it can also play Mega Drive games, which is really awesome. So anyway guys, that's my review. Videogamelover58, sign out. Peace.